Hey folks, Carl here and welcome to episode 6 of Amusing Models FV215b. Okay folks, so this episode, what are we going to be doing? We are going to be adding some metal effects to where we've done all the chips. We are also going to add some dust effects, and we are going to get the tracks done, and then we'll get it matte coated and it's finished. So metal effects first. Now I've already put one small piece down as a test, and we'll zoom in so you can see it. So we'll zoom right in, and we've done it right at that point there. I don't know if you can see that, just on where the main part of the chip is. We've done it as though the metal is showing through all the paint. So how are we doing this? Right, so we are using a pencil, but we're not just rubbing it on. What we're doing is we are getting our knife. So I've had all new drawers, so I'm still getting used to where I've put everything. So as you can see, we've got our knives and stuff in this drawer, all laid out. That's thanks to Mr. James Skiffins, because he did it with his drawers and showed me, and I thought that's actually a very clever idea. What we're doing is we're getting a little bit, we get one of our craft knives. It's got an old blade in it. I'll move you out of the way, and you, we want a little bit of used paper or something of the likes. One of the stickers here, so we'll use that. And what we're doing is we're literally going to be scraping some of the pencil off, so we get some of this lead off the pencil. Like so. So we've got a little bit there. Now we're getting our, let me just fold that paper up a bit so it all goes into one nice neat little pile, like so. We are using a dry brush. This is a wargaming one. I don't know where I got this from. It just appeared in my drawer. All we're doing is we're getting a little bit of this onto the tip of the brush, dry. If we zoom back in again, we'll do the other side of this exhaust. So we'll move that out of the way, and then we'll bring this in like so. So we've got a little bit of that graphite on the tip of our brush, and we are literally just brushing it into place. Just keep brushing and brushing and brushing on camera, and the graphite will take hold. A little bit more, and it will give us that used metal look. So if we look at that now, and that's all as we're after. I'll probably do another little bit down here just to show you. So our brush, and again we're just going to start to wipe it. We're probably going to cover some of the chips up, that's okay. Keep brushing there a bit more. And we'll blow some of that off. So there we have a metal. Looks like it's coming through. So we're going to do that all over the tank. So I'm probably going to peel this pencil apart and get the graphite out of it and scrape it all off into a little tub or container. And we will get on with doing this, and we'll come back. So talk to you in a moment. Okay folks, so as you can see we have finished putting on the metal effects. and yeah, the tank has been put together just to see what it looks like when it's sitting together. So you can see there what we've been doing with the metal effects on some of the edges, and again the same on the body. Some of the more pronounced edges we've silvered up along these edges here, and on the top of this thing, and on the back, and all where the lift points are on the tank, we've done those as well. So next we need to start adding some dust effects, and we're going to mix some of the dust effects the same as Night Shift did it on his channel, so thank you to him for this. So in here we have some soapy water. We put about 3 or 4 mil of dish soap in there, and we're going to be using primarily these two colours, XF52 and XF57, and we are going to, let's move this out of the way so I can get my drawers, put a pipette, so it's a shake up. Oh, this is an old bottle, I've still got a shaking can in there, a thing in there, what are they called? A mixing bead or whatever you call them. So we are going to mix around about 10 drops of this into here. Let's get rid of some of them bubbles. Maybe not. So around about 10 drops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Get rid of all that in there, and the reason the soap is in there is to stop the acrylic paint from congealing together. Where are you? No, still getting used to the drawers. A little something just to mix this up, that will do nicely. And what the soap does, like I say, is stop it from congealing up, because acrylic paint in water clumps together because it doesn't have any surface tension, so it just gathers and clumps together. So that looks about right. We're going to clean up pipette in these 2 tubs of water we've got here, so we'll get the most of it out of that one with this water, and we'll finish it off over here to clean it out properly. Tissue. There we go. Put it on there. And we're going to put exactly the same amount of XF57 in. 10 drops of this as well. Good shake up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 drops of buff in there. And there's our pipette, or pipette, or well, however you want to say it, clean, ready for next time we want to use it. So we're going to give this a shake up. Get those out of the way. And then we're going to test it on our fuel here. Some darker bits there. So, and here we can test this. So we're going to want a brush. We're going to want our airbrush, so I shall be back in a second. Okay, so we've got our airbrush here, and we want a brush for putting it on with. And this one will do. So to test this, we're going to just brush a bit on, see what it looks like, and then we're going to dry it quickly with the airbrush set to a very, very, very low PSI. So this is going to need building up in quite a few layers. We may need to add some more. We'll see in a minute once this has done a few layers and dried up. So I will do this. I shall talk to you in a moment. Okay folks, so we went and added 15 drops of these two extra. So that's 25 drops of each in total, and you can see the difference. This is where we did the first one. You can't really see anything. We put 2 or 3 layers down there. This is with the extra in. You can see the dust effect in a circle where we forced it to dry, and this had 2 layers, so we're getting a better effect with the extra in it. So now we're going to try it on one of the side skirts as a test on the actual model to see how it goes on. So I'll zoom in a bit, not too much, there we go, and we'll try it on this panel here. See, we put some metal effects on there as well, and there's some sort of stain there as well, so we'll need to clean that up. So this dust should hopefully cover that. What we really should do is wait for these bubbles to disappear. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this down where we think it would be dusty. Like so. We'll try and pick that up without getting ourselves covered. And we'll blow dry it a bit, so we can force it to dry a little bit quicker. This is just to save time. What we'll do once it's dry is we'll go over it with a little stiff brush to try and soften the edges a bit as well. We'll probably do 2 or 3 coats, but I really need to let the bubbles settle out of that because it's bubbling up on the piece. So there we go, that is dry. It looks a bit of a mess at the minute. It's the first coat, and we're going to get a reasonably stiff brush, something like this, and we're just going to brush over the top of that to see if we can take off some of it to break that edge up a bit. This is just a test really, so there we go. Looks a little bit better. A few more coats I think. I'm definitely going to wait for these bubbles to disappear. So I will wait for this to settle out. We'll come back and we'll leave that one as it is. We'll let the bubbles settle out, and then we'll do this one and see what difference there is without the bubbles in it. So talk to you shortly. Okay folks, so our mix has settled down. So a few little bubbles in there just by moving it around. Now we're not going to shake it because obviously it'll bubble up again. We're just going to give it a quick stir with the paintbrush. You can see the old one, the way it's dried. You might not even see anything now because I did give it a good brush over. Yeah, you can still see bits. So we're going to try on this one. Take as much off the brush as we can, and we're just going to get it on there. Nice and rough, like so. Get into some of these grooves. What I'm doing is I'm purposefully scraping the brush along the edge, along the bottom, to try and get it to settle towards the bottom, because that's where it'd be most dusty, shall we say. And I'm going to leave that to dry like that. So we'll be back very shortly and see what that looks like. Okay folks, that is now as good as dry, so we can see where we've got it. So now we're going to have a bit of a go at it with the brush. Try and take that edge off, see what we get. Okay, so there's our first layer down. So it's not looking too bad. Not the greatest, we've still got some sharp edges, but we are going to go over with some more. So I'm going to do that, and we'll come back and we'll take a look shortly. Okay folks, so here we have one that's now had 3 layers on. And the way we've done this is, there's the second one we did with the first layer on. So what we've done is we've taken the brush, we've tried our best just to put it right on the very edge, like so. Like so. And we've then taken our stiff brush, and what we've done is we've just spread it upwards, because this is the top part, this side, and this is the lower part. So we've literally just spread it out quite thin. Like so. That's our first layer down. You can see it's quite spread out. Just give that a quick blast with the airbrush to dry it off. And it dries pretty quick when you thin it out like this. There we go. So that's effectively our first layer. Like so. And then we're going to do exactly the same again. Get it along the edge, like so. But this time we don't drag it up. Oh, that's upside down. I'll flip that back over. We don't drag it up quite as far. We're a little bit more gentle with it, so we don't go as far. So it's still random. Just like that, and we'll dry that again. That now has 2 layers on it. And then lastly we put a very, very small amount on the bottom again. Not too much this time. And dry our brush and take some of that back off. Like so. Not too much. And then we're going to blow dry that. We're not going to brush it. It'll move around a little bit. And this gives us a thick layer at the bottom. This obviously takes a little bit longer to dry. There we go. So that's the 3 layers down. Now this one hasn't turned out too bad, but when I did this one there was quite a sharp edge, so what I did was I made sure my stiff brush was dry and then I just brushed over it very, very gently and it just broke up that line. So this one has turned out quite well. I don't think I'm going to brush that any more than what it is. So that is those done, and that was pretty much our experimental pieces. Even though they are going on the tank, we are now going to do the same with the rest of the tank. So I'm going to get prepped and ready, start doing this, and we'll come back and we'll show you some progress. So talk to you in a moment. Okay folks, so as you can see we have finished the dust effects on the tank, and this will tow down a little bit once we get a matte coat onto it. Not a huge amount, but it'll dust back a little bit. We've tried our best to go lighter as we've moved up the tank. So that is all done now, ready for the matte coat. Next we're going to be doing the tracks. Now this one is already done. We're using pretty much the same technique as we've used for the main hull. So I'm going to get this lot tidied up, moved out of the way, and we'll show you what we did for this track. So I shall talk to you in a moment. Okay folks, so we have our track, we have our dusty mix here, and it looks like we might run out before we finish this bit, so all we're doing pretty much the same as we've done on the tank, but we're just going to slap this stuff on quite thickly, and we're probably going to end up having to do 2, maybe 3 coats. That's why I'm thinking we might run out, and we're literally just soaking the whole track with as much of this as we can, like so. So it looks quite pale because it's the first coat, and of course we're doing both sides. This side can be a little bit more thingy because it's a bit flatter. So all we're doing, dipping the brush, dabbing it on and filling all the crevices. So I'm going to get this first coat done and on, and I'm probably going to need to mix some more of this. So I shall talk to you in a moment. Okay folks, so we did run out, so we've mixed another tub full. We didn't quite get a full coat on the inside of the track, so we're just going to add another coat now, and we're doing it exactly the same again. We're going to just slap it on nice and thick, fill as much of these gaps and holes as we can, exactly the same as before. And you can see we didn't get much of an effect on the first pass. I think the last lot, the first lot I did where I was testing this, I think I put about 3 or 4 coats on, and then in the end we actually added some direct colour of XF, what number was it now? XF52 over the top to darken it down a little bit, but I'll show you that when we get to it. So I am going to continue with this and get 3 or 4 coats on, and then we'll come back and we'll show you what we did with the XF52 just to darken it up a little bit. So I shall talk to you very shortly. Okay folks, so we've put, you can see the two halves here, we put 3 layers on this half and we put the same on this one, and as you can see there's quite a bit of difference. And then I remembered that I actually, when I did this one, I actually thickened up the mix a little bit. So as you can see on this half, got some in our palette here, and we've added a little bit more pigment in there, and we're just going over with the last coat of this thickened up slightly buff. It's not thickened up by much, but as you can see it makes a huge difference. So I'm going to get this done, and then we're going to do exactly the same with the XF52, but we'll be dabbing it on a little bit lighter so we get a two-tone effect on the tracks when they are done. And of course we do have the other side to do as well. Now thankfully, with this stuff being quite runny, it's actually running into the links of the track, so we haven't got to spend any time going in between each link of the track. So we're going to very lightly get a brush. We're almost out. We may have to make a little bit more in a minute. No, we should be fine with that. So there we go, we'll leave that to dry now, and we'll talk to you in a moment. Okay folks, that is those tracks dry. Now this is the track we've just done, and this is the track we've done previously. Now taking a look at them closely, I can't see any difference. Now we did add XF52 to this set, and if you get really close you can see it, but from a distance, from what, a foot away, I can't really see any difference. So I'm not going to bother to put any of the XF52 onto this second track. Now all as we need to do now is add the metal effect on the high points and where it contacts the ground, where the metal would show through, and we're just going to do that by a bog standard dry brush. We are going to be using XF56, the metallic grey, because I don't want it too shiny. I'm pretty sure you all know how to dry brush, so we are going to use an old tatty brush, which I have plenty of. So there we go, I'll put that old thing there, and we're going to want a tissue, which is here. It's good to be prepared, so I've got a bit of tissue there. We'll put this here, give our paint a shake. Takes his knuckles off the edge of the table, and of course that jar is sealed, so we will get out our Mr. Hobby. What am I doing? I'm trying to put that on the bottom of there. It doesn't work that way, you idiot. On there. This bit goes on the bottom of there. If you haven't got one of these, they're essential if you're using Tamiya a lot. Nice and loose again, so we can put those away in our drawers. There we go. So, dry brush, all we're going to do, we're going to soak the tip of this brush with the paint, and then of course I always find this a little bit wasteful. I'm going to do that. Let's zoom in a bit so we can see what we're doing. Paint. So we are just literally now going to brush over the top of there very, very lightly, so it looks a little something like that. So we've got a very light metal effect. So we're just going to keep working our way down the tracks. Very light on screen. Very light dry brushing. Talking a bit like Bob Ross. There we go. I'm going to do the teeth on the edges as well, like so. Bit more paint. Paint a lovely tree on screen, please. It's not going well. So I nearly took the paint over there. I don't know if you're going to be able to make that out. I can't tell on this little screen on the camera, but we do now have a metal edge on those tracks. So I'm going to zoom you back out. You don't need to watch me do the rest of these tracks, so I will get those done in a moment. What we have done is we have varnished, matte varnished the rest of the tank up while we've been waiting for bits to dry. So this is now as good as dry, so we got that done. We've also got turret done, which will of course, let's take this off here and this up there. So of course this will sit here like so. And of course we've got the guards now glued down and in place, and this has all been matte coated as well. So we are almost ready for construction, so I'm going to get these done and we'll be back momentarily. Okay folks, there we go. That is the tracks now with the metal look on the raised edges. It's difficult to get it to show properly with this bright light. I'm hoping that you can see that. A little bit of dust still in there, a little bit of dirt. I haven't done anything on the inside. Occasionally I'll do something along the teeth, but I'm not going to bother this time. So I'm going to get these tracks fitted to the lower hull and we'll be back in a minute. Okay folks, back already before we fit these. So actually after putting the lower hull on, I did decide to go and do the inside of the tracks. So the process is exactly the same. We'll get our track. I've got a smaller brush this time, and again we're doing exactly the same. A little bit of paint on the brush, and then we are just very, very gently, if we zoom in so you can actually see this, very, very gently touching the track and sliding across the top, just so we leave a little bit of paint. If you press too hard, you just make a solid silver or metal coloured line. So, a bit further, very, very gently, and hardly any pressure at all. And you can see we've started to get a metallic line down there. So I'm going to get this one done, then put the tracks onto the hull, and we'll be back in a minute. Okay folks, that is the tracks on and fitted. So there we go. That is what they are looking like. Obviously we're not going to see the top part, so the slack doesn't really matter, but it is there, tiny little bit. So now we're going to finish assembling this tank get it all together. So back in a second. Okay folks, that is the tank finished. Let's pick this up. The turret will not stay in place, so there we have it. One finished FV215b and in brackets 183 British tank destroyer. It's gone a little bit dusty, so I am going to go and take some beauty shots, and I will post those up at the end of the video. But for now, that is this build, that is this build complete and done. So as always, thank you very much for watching. Be good, as always, be safe, and of course keep making models, and we will see you next time. Ta-ta. Okay folks, so we're back, and for the observant ones, you may have noticed that we actually missed something off the tank, and that is of course the machine gun. Completely forgot about it. It was sitting at the side of me and completely forgot to put it on. So we have glued it in place. We are about to give it a weather up. Add some dust effects to it, because obviously it's had nothing on it at all. And then I will probably paint a little bit of matte varnish over the top of that rather than get the airbrush out and spray it again. So this time we really are finished. So the beauty shots will follow this new clip. So as always, thank you very much for watching. Be good, be safe, and of course keep making models, and don't forget to put bits on. Ta-ta.